Hi everybody, welcome back to the Hot and Cold Hobbyist. I'm John Woods. Today you will be joining me on the driving range for a practice session. I've been noticing in the first few rounds I've played this season that I've been having trouble making consistent contact, and I really need a practice round to just kind of groove my swing into a nice release. The last round especially was really bad, and that round didn't even make it up onto the channel. I have to warn you, the clips you're about to see are pixelated and scrambled due to the graphic nature of the footage. Okay, that's not actually what happened. What happened was I got home and the footage got corrupted when I tried to transfer it on my computer, and all I was able to salvage was some low resolution clips of different things that happened, and it's alright, you know, we lost that round and that's not really a problem. I still played golf, it was still a nice day, but I just played a really bad round. After that round I really needed to get to the range, or that was just going to keep happening. I wasn't going to be able to figure out how to make clean contact, especially with irons and wedges and stuff. I have some ideas for drills. I have some things that I'm going to try out. I meant to make like a little cardboard swing guide thing, and I didn't end up doing that, but that's alright. Today I'm just going to try some drills that help with like the release and the low point of the swing, because I noticed watching myself on video that I'm really like kind of flippy and leaning back at the ball and just weird stuff that I feel like I'm not doing when I practice swing, but I'm absolutely doing when I swing at the ball. I just gotta figure out how to get that feeling to happen with every swing and not just with practice swings. And then the other thing I want to try and start incorporating is like that mentality of the movement of the swing should not change that much from practice swing to the actual swing. So I'm heading to a covered range because it is drizzly outside and I don't have a rain jacket. I hope to get some good work in.
It's the return of commentator John, everybody. Since I was at a busy range, I will be talking through the drills and practice I was doing while I was there. Started out with this motion that just trains you to release with the body rather than releasing by flipping the hands. Just doing that a few times before hitting any shots. Here I started with a towel drill, which just includes putting a golf towel behind the ball. And it helps focus on having the low point after the balls. Checks if you're hitting fat shots, especially good for hitting off mats because you can't always tell how fat you're hitting it. Now you can see right away that on the practice swings I wasn't hitting the towel, and then on my first swing at the ball I definitely hit it fat. I was so worried that I hit it so hard I thought I damaged the towel for a second there. Undoubtedly a better shot and a better release when I don't hit the towel. So this drill serves nicely as a step one in all of the fixes I was trying to implement during this practice session. But as you can see, as a drill, it's only so effective because it's feedback for when I'm hitting fat, but it's not necessarily training me to not hit it fat. I'm still hitting the towel at least half the time. which is a big issue. Another thing that can happen is as you're training a release like this, you can realize you're making all these compensations for the way you normally swing the club. And so I notice here that I am now pulling it off to the left because my release is different than I've been swinging all year, really. There you can see another bit of contact with the towel. Trying to train that out in the release. Again, this drill is good feedback. It doesn't necessarily train you the motions you need to do to stop hitting it fat. That last one was especially bad. So let's look at it in slow motion. You can see I come back and start the downswing with my arms and hands right there and flip at the ball. Basically, the rest of the practice session is going to be dedicated to fixing that motion right there. So next up, I try this underarms drill here, which basically helps keep the arms part of the body or connected to the body and forces you into a body release. You can't really do it with full swing, so you'll see I make some partial swings, but that is almost textbook compared to what I was doing when I was making full swings at the beginning of this session. And I was actually able to speed up that motion still on a partial swing, and I was surprised at the distance I got out of a pitching wedge, basically a half swing. Toptracer was telling me good things there. But then after dropping the tees, got to practice that motion on a full swing. And it immediately didn't feel quite right. So I had to remind myself what I was trying to go for with feel and with motion here, and produced a much better swing. And I'm starting to notice I've been doing things at setup, I've been doing things in the downswing that are going to cause me to hit it offline, not hit it at target. And on top of that, my impact is all over the face. Like my contact points are out on the toe, then closer to the heel. And so here I'm doing a 2 tees drill. I'm just practicing taking that swing path between 2 tees laid out on the mat. Set a ball down there, take a swing. And I'm immediately able to find the center of the face. So now that I've gotten all the feel and the motion from these drills, I knew I had to do something to get my practice swing to actually mean something, to actually be focusing on the motions I needed to make in the golf swing. So here I am kind of delaying in the backswing and starting the downswing with the lower body. And I make that first good swing after taking those practice swings. And if you look at it this way, take the club back, a little more in control, but a similar backswing, and then start the downswing with the lower body, release after the ball, just have much better body release and contact than I had at the beginning of this session. I wanted to then prove to myself that I could make those motions, I could make those practice swings, I could start the downswing with the lower body with different clubs that are a little harder to hit. So longest iron in my bag is a 5-iron, and here I am doing the same thing with a 5-iron. I'm obviously not going to be happy with every single shot, but I can keep trying that to make better and better contact with each swing. I had to go back to that motion again because I was not necessarily flipping with the arms, but twisting the wrists to release the club. Then I didn't release the club square at all. Finally, a few good practice swings. Address the ball. Start with the lower body. And hit a really nice 5-iron shot. And there you go. I wanted to take a closer look at this with a longer iron in hand. Very similar motions, right? The takeaway, up at the top of the backswing, I start with the lower body, come down in the slot, and release really nicely out to target. And then I just started pulling progressively more difficult clubs to hit, and continuing the same process of good practice swings and making good swings at the ball. Now, the results I was getting during this session were really impressive, in the sense that things were much more online than I've been experiencing out on the course. But also, I was getting carry distances with practice balls that I would expect to have with normal quality balls. So that tells me that this type of release is probably going to get me more distance, and I hope it gives me more control. The one thing I will say is that the slice to the right was probably the most common issue I found with the driver when I didn't get that release timing correct. Now, in all honesty, I probably hit too many practice balls this round, but one thing I do like to do with the Toptracer technology is to simulate a round. Obviously, it's not perfect, but you get some nice estimations. You get some pitching practice, having to hit things like punch shots under trees. You obviously don't get a chance to practice putting or really short chipping, but it is a fun way to practice things like changing it up every shot, managing the course, and generally playing golf. And doing fun things like getting a birdie on the first hole.
So I think what I can take away from that practice session is that the practice swing needs to focus on starting the downswing with the lower body. That solved so many of the issues with finding the low point after the ball, the rhythm, getting things on line and at the target. A lot of that just had to do with swinging with my lower body. I know everybody talks about, big muscles, not little muscles when they're talking about swing instruction. And I think that's just hard to convince yourself of, because everything else we do is like hand-eye coordination. I felt like it was a good practice session, and I feel like I got some benefits. I know I'm still going to hit some fat shots. I know I'm going to flip it. I know I'm going to turn it over and hook it or slice across the ball every once in a while. Like, that's going to happen. And the reason I'm saying that is that there's all these videos out there that promise, like, start doing this and you'll make perfect contact every time. And I don't believe that, because if that were true, the pros would be making perfect contact all the time. And they're not. They're hooking it. They're slicing it. They're hitting it fat. They're hitting it thin. It happens. So I'm not looking for like this perfect magical fix, but I really like the idea that my practice swing will mean something. It's focusing on a movement that's repeated at, even if it's at a higher speed, that's how I'm starting the downswing. And that is so important, because flipping is all about starting the downswing wrong. I'm really excited to take that out onto the course, but I'm going to be cautiously optimistic that, like, I know bad habits tend to come back when you're out on the course and you're dealing with real things. I got those few shots in there where I was simulating some holes, and I think that helps think of it as a round of golf, but you're still on a mat. You know, you got the same lie every time. You're perfectly even. If you do hit it fat, it's going to bounce off the mat a little bit and not be as bad of a shot. So again, cautiously optimistic going into my next actual round of golf. I think the drills I tried today are really easy. I didn't need any expensive gear to do it. So, you know, let me know what you think down in the comments. Let me know if those are drills you would try yourself, if there are more drills I should be doing that are really obvious that I don't know about. And of course, like this video while you're here, subscribe while you're here, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks everybody. Bye.
Baby, you